Also, GG hacks, stupid game, stupid team. Look, you roll Ting-Lu on the wheel. This is the kind of thing that comes to mind, right? But I did hacks them, though. That's true. But welcome back to VGC Legends, the series where I spin a wheel to get a random legendary Pokemon, speed build a team for VGC Regulation I with that Pokemon, and then try it out on the ladder. I do this for a couple of reasons, partly just because I like legendary Pokemon, and so it's a fun little gimmick to play with them for a bit, but also because building a lot of teams quickly like this on the spot can be kind of an interesting way to get a little bit of a different perspective on the game. I'm going to no doubt build some good teams and some bad teams and have some fun and interesting situations along the way. So let's find out what today's legendary Pokemon is. Gen 9? Ting-Lu. Alright, well, that's certainly an interesting one. So if you're not familiar with Ting-Lu's game, well, lucky you. It is extremely bulky because it has the Vessel of Ruin to weaken the special attack stat of all other Pokemon on the field. And then it just has a lot of physical bulk as well. So mostly it's used for kind of grindier, stallier games. We've even seen it use Stealth Rock in some formats in Scarlet and Violet. And we've also seen Ting-Lu run Fissure because it's the kind of Pokemon that can sit on the field for long enough, spam a one-hit KO move enough that it has a real chance of actually connecting at some point, and it can actually be worthwhile. Plus, Ting-Lu gets the ground-type attack Stomping Tantrum, which doubles in power if its last move has failed. So if you miss a Fissure, then you get a double power Stomping Tantrum on the last turn. And again, Ting-Lu is a Pokemon that can sit there for a long time and really take advantage of that. That was more common in Regulation C. I'd say right now Ting-Lu is not as common in the format, but if you are going to use it, it's probably on something like a Shadow Rider, Weezing, Dondozo kind of team, so I know not everyone enjoys that, but I do think that is the plan here. So basically these try to poison things, grind things down, probably will run Stealth Rock on this Ting-Lu. And for the other restricted Pokemon, I think Ability Shield Koraidon is pretty typical in these kinds of teams, and I don't really see much need to deviate from that. Ability Shield Koraidon, it obviously has some pros and cons. You can't run a Clear Amulet or a Life Orb on it, although as long as you're Weezing on the field, you don't have to worry about Intimidate at least. But it is a set that I've used before. I think I had a video with it before. I'll probably find that one and put it in the cards. With Koraidon and Ability Shield Weezing. I also used it in one of the global challenges. It's interesting because it can get the jump on opposing Koraidon, because you get Orichalcum Pulse and they don't, but also Miraidon because they don't get their Hadron Engine. And so, obviously the two Dragon Bikes are sort of the most explosively powerful legendary Pokemon in this format. They both just hit massively hard and get a ton of KOs, but with Ability Shield Koraidon next to Weezing, most of the time you're getting those KOs and they're not. And the reason you run Shadow Rider Calyrex on a team like this is it also pairs nicely with Weezing because for some reason As-1 is not turned off by neutralizing gas, so Calyrex is still able to get those boosts and I guess deny berries. Otherwise you just grind things down with Poison, maybe Stealth Rock, maybe Ruination, and bulky Dondozo stuff. So I'll figure out the details that I want for the sets and then we'll start the battles. I'm actually going to jump in one more time here with a useful tool for VGC players. I don't use this super often myself, but it is valuable in a situation like this. This is Top Cut Explorer, and what it does is it goes through a tournament results, usually toward the top. I've selected top 256 here, which is as inclusive as it gets for the Utrecht special event that at time of recording happened recently. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm used to running Focus Sash on Galarian Weezing. It is a fairly bulky Pokemon, but still a lot of things hit so very hard in this format that can be something that you really want. But as I'm starting to build out the team, I think I really want to have the Focus Sash on the Shadow Rider Calyrex. So, actually I'm second guessing that even as I say it now. So I thought about plugging a Citrus Berry onto the Weezing, and I might do that, but obviously berries are not as valuable in this format where there are unnerving horses everywhere than they are in other formats. So I thought I'd take a look at Utrecht and see what the Weezing there used. So you can see you can filter by Terra type, ability, although every Weezing at Utrecht used the same one. We got a few different held items here. All of them were paired with Shadow Rider Calyrex. If this box were not auto-ticked, because it's all of them, I would tick it here. just because that's what I want to get a look at. And so here's the highest placing one. I'm not sure what this looks like in OBS. Hang on. It's okay. This is the highest placing Galarian Weezing at Utrecht, and we can see that the Weezing here had a rocky helmet. And they actually had a Life Orb on the Calyrex. So where was their Focus Sash? They didn't have one. Interesting. Alright, I'm going to look at these two as well that made top 64. This one had Rocky Helmet Weezing and Sash Calyrex, and this one had Citrus Berry Weezing and Sash Calyrex. But yeah, so there are a couple different options I can go with there, but that gives me a little bit of an idea of how to focus in on what it is that I'm trying to do, and we'll find out what that ends up being in just a moment. Alright, well, probably not the best version, but this is what I've come up with on the spot. You might have noticed in that Top Cut Explorer segment that none of the successful Galarian Weezing at Utrecht actually were paired with Ting-Lu, and there were some Ting-Lu on the list as well, but they were on different kinds of teams. Nonetheless, this was the first thing I thought of, so I'm going to commit to it. I have gone with a Rocky Helmet on the Weezing, Focus Sash on the Shadow Rider Calyrex, Encore for a nice tech move that can be further disruptive to opponents, a little bit inspired by those teams, although I knew it was a thing already. I've got by it on the ladder sometimes. Then I have Dondozo Tatsugiri stuff. This Dondozo is extremely physically bulky, so body press becomes interesting for being useful without Tatsugiri, and also not nerfed by Intimidate. Actually, I think I might want Yawn. No, I don't want Yawn on this Dondozo because I'm trying to poison stuff. And then the Koraidon and stuff are pretty straightforward. So this team might frustrate some opponents, maybe, but Ting-Lu is kind of inherently a Pokemon that does that. And obviously that's only if I actually do well. I mean, if I don't do well, then my opponents are happy. Anyway, got a Miraidon Ice Rider team here. This one with Fluttermane Chi-Yu stuff, which is... It's interesting that we're seeing that duo on a team where they're not Sun boosted, but it's still pretty scary. It could make a lot of sense for sure. How do I use this team that I've built? Alright, well, Weezing is probably a pretty strong lead with either Ting-Lu. I do have Stealth Rock on it. That's just so funny that Stealth Rock can be useful in VGC now, and actually I like it kind of into this Ice Rider and this Chi-Yu. Let's try leading these. Maybe I need Koraidon though. Alright, let's try leading these, but I will, of course, bring the Ting-Lu, and let's bring the Shadow Rider. Okay, Miraidon, Fluttermane. So we're going to Terra Fire the Koraidon immediately. Shocking, I know. I'll go for a Toxic Spikes. If Miraidon wants to pivot out, getting something on the switch could be valuable. And again, this Miraidon does not have Hadron Engine active right now because of the neutralizing gas, so it is at a disadvantage in terms of damage here. I'm going to Flame Charge the Fluttermane. Try to get a speed advantage, because right now Koraidon is... Okay. Conceivably speed tying with both opposing Pokemon. Of course, it helps that the Fluttermane doesn't have Photosynthesis active. Let's go for Poison Gas here, and another Flame Charge. Trying to poison everything. Terra Electric Miraidon, that's cool. That did a lot to Koraidon, but no KO. Because they don't have the Hadron Engine. Unfortunately, I don't get Koraidon to +1 speed at the end of this turn, only to neutral speed. It's a little bit awkward. So I'm poisoning all their stuff. Can I just switch Ting-Lu in here? Maybe. I might as well protect first. Get a little bit more poison damage on them, see what the Calyrex does. But yeah, I mean, Ting-Lu obviously will take nothing from that Electro Drift. What is a little bit of a worry is a Leech Seed or Glacial Lance. But I'll try it. Oh, I get this strange Steam confusion on the Ice Rider and it hurts itself, so that's some good luck there. They Electro Drift into Weezing, but again, no Hadron Engine. Doesn't quite have the power that Miraidon is used to. And here I'll Protect and Stomping Tantrum into the Miraidon slot. Ting-Lu is the slowest Pokemon on the field, slower than their Ice Rider, so we do take a Glacial Lance, but not before knocking out the Miraidon. And with Weezing still here, the Miraidon never had a chance to really become a threat. Now, here's a fun interaction. Neutralizing Gas also turns off Unseen Fist, so I can, if I want, protect Ting-Lu here. I'm a little bit less inclined because I just used Protect with the Weezing, so I can't protect both. I'll go for Strange Steam into Urshifu, see if they let me get away with that, and I'll just go for Stomping Tantrum into Calyrex. Okay, they do let me knock her Shifu down to its Sash, so it will feint to poison damage here. Stomping Tantrum chips the Calyrex, but they get a Glacial Lance off, but her Shifu goes down here. Trick Room is about to end, and I do have Koraidon, and they can reasonably guess also the Shadow Rider in the back. Also, GG hacks, stupid game, stupid team. Look, you roll Ting-Lu on the wheel. This is the kind of thing that comes to mind, right? But I did hacks them, though, that's true. But, yeah, the Ice Rider also drops the poison damage next turn anyway, so I can just protect through it. I did hacks them. Okay. We have a Solgaleo team, that's cool. Solgaleo, Kyogre. Landorus actually feels like a giant threat. But once again, I can deny Drizzle by leading with Weezing. That means they don't get an accurate Sandsear Storm. Now, maybe they're not a coward and they click it anyway. That's how I tend to go these days, but I'll just do the same lead as last game. And I could do Dozogiri in the back for this one. Yeah, I don't hate it. We'll bench Ting-Lu just for now. I mean, Ting-Lu is... It's not really the star of the show so far, this video. Maybe it'll get a chance, we'll see. But this is how I've designed it for this team, right? It's here to play a supportive role. And it did a pretty good job in that first game. It can have a bit of a rest here. Okay. Does Roaring Moon get Bulldoze? Is that what this is? Bulldoze into Weakness Policy Solgaleo? I have no idea. But I'm just gonna... Toxic Spikes. Terrifier. Flame Charge Solgaleo. If they do have a way to drop my speed, it could just be Tailwind too, but if they do drop my speed, if Roaring Moon gets Bulldoze, and I have no idea whether it does, I've never looked into that, then at least I get the speed right back. They actually switch to Kyogre here, but they will not get Drizzle because of the neutralizing gas. It does take that Flame Charge pretty nicely though. Knock off into Galarian Weezing, that's fine. They take a bit of Helmet Chip, and also they used a Dark Attack into a Fairy type. And I feel pretty safe here. So yeah, Koraidon is faster than Roaring Moon, so I don't really see any downside to just Poison Gas and clicking Collision Course into Kyogre. Terra Fairy Kyogre. That's a new one to me. There we go, there's the downside. Origin Pulse in Sun though. Doesn't do a ton. Poison these. Obviously Solgaleo can't be poisoned. Landorus is also immune to Toxic Spikes. If they have that in the back, but we don't get to find out because they just forfeit right there. Okay. We get Ice Rider, Calyrex, Terapagos, Annihilate, Volcarona, Sableye, and Comfey. So this is some... This team looks like it's almost all in on Calm Mind, Terapagos, but then they also do have the Ice Rider as a possible snowballing threat. But I don't think Calm Mind, Terapagos wants to get poisoned. Do I lead Koraidon again? I do have to worry a little bit about a possible, like, Scarf, Final, Gambit, Annihilate. So actually, maybe I want to lead Shadow Rider in this one so I can click Astral Barrage turn 1 and protect with Weezing. And remove the Annihilate if they just try to... Yeah, I'll give that a go. Can I get Ting-Lu into this game? Maybe. I do need Koraidon, though, for sure. And actually, I think I want Dondozo, so I think Ting-Lu is taking a backseat once again in its own video. But again, it's not really a Pokemon that is built to be a star. Ting-Lu is a role player, so this is how that goes sometimes. The Sableye could fake out, but I think I'm gonna... Obviously, it can't fake out Shadow Rider, so Weezing would be the target for that. It also could set screens. Sableye can do a ton of things. It's a really versatile prankster Pokemon. Kind of niche, but I really enjoy using it once in a while. I'm just going to Poison Gas and Astral Barrage, and if they fake out Weezing, that's not really the end of the world. We're going to do something else, though. Oh, they don't have Prankster active because of the neutralizing gas. That's the thing about playing Weezing. You have to keep track of a lot of things in your own mind as well. They protected the Calyrex because they knew there'd be a delay on getting that light screen. I'll just go for the same play again. Damage into their Calyrex is still good. And it's probably not an immediate threat to KO Weezing. And even if it gets a couple KOs and starts boosting, I have to Unaware Dondozo in the back. Let's see. Yeah, poison into this Calyrex would be nice. Especially with Leech Seed Calyrex running around these days, just occurred to me this could be one of those. Nice, I could have Encored it as well. I did have that option, locked it into Protect, but I didn't think of that until too late. Anyway, good damage. They get good damage back, but I still have the speed advantage. They haven't set Trick Room. Wheezing drops to poison here. I mean, Sableye. Sableye drops to poison here. And we'll see what they come up with next. Taking their time, though, with this one. Okay. Ah, it is Annihilate now. I'll Poison Gas. Let's actually Protect Shadow Rider here, because I could go for, like, a Rage Fist into it. They do, okay. Now I get the Annihilate poisoned. It is Leech Seed Ice Rider, but can I just Terra Dark Astral Barrage here? Because I think Annihilate should be choice locked. Let's see. Terra Grass. I do take that Rage Fist even through a crit, but this, well, they forfeited, so maybe this KOs. Okay, it doesn't, but get a lot of damage into both. They actually get 2 KOs here. That means they don't get the Leech Seed recovery, though. So is the poison damage going to knock out their Ice Rider? It is. Annihilate is almost gone, too. Don't see their last Pokemon. It's probably Terapagos. But, yeah, this is really the Wheezing video so far, huh? That is what it is. Here's another Annihilate. And this one has a Lunala, so it could have Wide Guard. Some of them do, some of them don't. But I don't hate the idea of just going Wheezing Shadow Rider again. Koradon's probably alright into this team. And honestly, Dondozo. It's the other problem with the Ting-Lu video, and why Ting-Lu... I mean, like I said, it did get some results at Utrecht. I didn't check any other tournaments, but why you don't see it as much as you used to. Ice Rider Calyrex is everywhere. And Koradon. And I guess Zamazenta, although it seems like that one's not as everywhere as a lot of us expected going into this format. Okay, Wheezing, Shadow Rider against It Is Annihilate and Ice Rider once again. So I think I'm down to just Protect and Astral Barrage. And I'm covering for a final Gambit into Wheezing here, as much as I would like to just click Poison Gas immediately. If I see another Miraidon, though, then we can get Ting-Lu back into a game, probably. Fire on the Ice Rider, okay. And there's the final Gambit. We'll get rid of the Annihilate here. Still good chip into the Ice Rider. Trick Room's up. Who's coming in? Lunala? Amoonguss. Alright, well, actually Amoonguss is kind of a problem, because it can put either of these to sleep. I don't have an immunity to that on the board, but it can't put both of them to sleep. So Poison Gas, Psychic. Their Calyrex undersped their Amoonguss. That's interesting. They chose to put my Calyrex to sleep. They will take poison damage here, but I think I would have preferred to land the Psychic. I just didn't really get to choose, did I? I guess I also could have double protected to kill a turn of Trick Room, but oh well. And of course, they have their Grimnay active. Or their Chilling Nay, just like I have my Grimnay. So if they knock out my Calyrex here, it's probably... I made the wrong play there. I think I should have switched to Dondozo instead of just letting them have my Calyrex. Yeah, anyway, they'll get a boost. I don't know why I didn't switch to Dondozo there. I just didn't think, really. Anyway, here's Dondozo now. It will ignore that attack boost, of course, but Wheezing won't. It might be nice to switch Wheezing out, but I don't want to sack Koraidon, so instead I'll click Toxic Spikes and just body press into the Ice Rider, I guess. They'll probably put Dondozo... They knock out Wheezing. They'll probably put Dondozo to sleep here. But there's only one turn of Trick Room left. I can protect Koraidon through that. If this one's Leech Seed Calyrex, they can start to get some recovery because Dondozo has a ton of HP. But otherwise, there might be a way here. Protect Koraidon through this. Terra Fire. They'll probably force me to attack Amoonguss on the next turn, but I guess that's the other thing. I probably just drop to a high horsepower. Actually switch Amoonguss out here. Incineroar. Unfortunately, I'm not running Clear Amulet Koraidon. Dondozo waking up is nice, though. Might have been better if I'd attacked with it, because it's so slow. I think it's faster than their Calyrex, though, so let's Collision Course into Incineroar and Body Press into this. I could switch Amoonguss in somewhere. And of course, that's a Fighting Resist. They are definitely under some amount of pressure. This Fake Out, okay. Do I regret not taking the KO on the Calyrex? Leech Seed. Oh, they missed. Alright, well, Hack's another one. That's just how it goes sometimes. They waited until that turn to reveal the Leech Seed, though. Wow. Well, this has been a lucky laddering session so far. We'll see how long it lasts. There goes Amoonguss. We'll get another one. Try to get Ting-Lu into a game again. Oh dear. That's a familiar looking team. I have no idea how to play this almost mirror. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, the Terra Water Ting-Lu might not be bad here. It is Terra Water, right? Honestly, that might be pretty reasonable here. I think I want to prioritize Toxic Spikes. Try to land that into their Dondozo. And you know what? I have max speed on this Shadow Rider. I'll risk a speed tie turn 1. Well, I'll bring Ting-Lu. Maybe I'll switch Ting-Lu in turn 1 depending on what happens. Let's bring these. Let's leave the Dondozo stuff behind. Maybe I'll regret that because I don't have anything that can ignore their Dondozo stat boosts. In fact, maybe I shouldn't do that. No, I'll bring Dondozo instead of Koraidon, actually. We'll leave the second restricted behind this time. Because then my Dondozo, it doesn't matter that they can boost Dondozo. Well, in that 1v1, it doesn't matter that they can boost Dondozo and I can't because I'm unaware. And Dondozo should also match up reasonably well into Koraidon on their side. We led the same. I'm just gonna go ahead and click. Am I? Yeah. Astral Barrage, bring them down to their Sash, I suppose. And Strange Steam or Toxic Spikes. I really want Toxic Spikes on the field. They're Terra Normal. I could have Terrastalized too. I have Terra Dark, but I just decided to go for it. I did win the speed tie, but it didn't really help. Well, I told you I didn't know how to play this sort of mirror, didn't I? Let's see if I win the speed tie again. If it is a speed tie, it might not be. I think it might not be a speed tie. Oh, let me get this Strange Steam into... No. No such luck. Yeah, and then this is what I have in the back. Probably not my game, huh? That's okay. Let's get what damage I can here. That just wipes out Dondozo. Oh! Neutralizing gas is in effect. Right, so I don't have Unaware. Well, that's fitting that I kind of swept through those first few opponents, only to lose to this stuff eventually. That's only the first loss of the video, though, so we'll play at least a little while longer. They had the Dozo Giri stuff in the back, so So I will go ahead and lose to that now. Do what damage I can. No damage, because they just knocked me out. Okay. Well, let's see what matchup is next. Oh, this also looks not great. Well, it's another team that looks like it really wants to set up a Combine Terrapagos, and then has a physical, more hyper-offensive kind of restricted to pair with it. Once again, I think poisoning Terrapagos would be very nice. I think that Terra Fire Koraidon matches up pretty well into basically everything here. I could bring Ting-Lu, maybe, but I think I'd rather bring these. And we'll see how this goes. Terrapagos Volcarona lead, so Poison Gas immediately, I suppose. Good thing Poison Gas is a spread move. It can't be redirected into just Volcarona. And I'll Terra Fire immediately, and Flare Blitz. And with poison damage, I can also potentially break the Terra Shell on the Terrapagos. It could have leftovers, but we'll see. Terra Starstorm Koraidon immediately knock it out. Not ideal, but I do have the Body Press Dondozo in the back. They have Zacian. I think I'll just get Dondozo going immediately here and Body Press into Terrapagos. Okay. They can Encore disable me now. Yeah, alright, they got me with that, I guess. This Body Press is not going to do much into a double resistance. I'm going to anticipate an Encore here and click Body Press into the Zacian. What else do I have for it anyway? Yeah, but now they disable and I'm just stuck struggling. I will still play this out, but yeah, that Screamtail definitely got me. I haven't seen this Screamtail set in Reg I yet. At least I don't think so, but it makes sense that it would still be perfectly playable on some teams. And hey, speaking of things that are frustrating to deal with, this one actually has Howl, which is really cool. Dondozo will ignore the attack boost on their Zacian, but Sacred Sword is ignoring my defense boosts. The damage is adding up over time, and once Dondozo goes down, that Zacian will be prepared to go to town on the rest of my team. Am I going to drop to Wave Crash Recoil here? Nope, not quite. But I also don't get the KO into Zacian. And have I put Dondozo in range of Sacred Sword? Doesn't look like it, actually. So I have room to go for a Wave Crash into Terrapagos, although they can just protect through that. Maybe that wasn't the play. But it'd be nice if it works. Oh, they just Terra Starstorm me. Okay. Alright, well, honestly, they've already used up their Photosynthesis on the Screamtail. Can Choice Scarf Tatsugiri close this one out? It seems not impossible. Maybe I'm being a little bit silly, but Toxic Spikes, try to catch the Screamtail coming back in. Maybe I need Strange Steam into Terrapagos, actually. Oh, well, too late. That doesn't do very much damage. Okay, but Tatsugiri survives. I could get an accuracy drop into Terrapagos. Not like it's impossible. It's possible that Screamtail doesn't have an attack. Okay, I definitely lost because the game ended. Yeah, okay. I missed the Terrapagos with the Muddy Water, but it was very unlikely to KO anyway. Of course, the accuracy drop could have happened, but multiple things have to go right there in a video where plenty already have. Play until one more loss here. Here we get a Miraidon team. Of course, it's paired with Ice Rider Calyrex, as it often is, so I do want to bring Ting-Lu to this one. It is the Ting-Lu video, but it's a little bit tricky. We'll do this. It's not a great Shadow Rider matchup, so maybe I leave that and bring Dondozo. Yeah, okay. Maybe I need to be bringing the Shadow Rider more often. I feel like this is multiple videos now where I've been too readily willing to leave my second restricted Pokemon behind. Sometimes it is for the best, but Not every time. Let's see what kind of damage I can do this Miraidon here. Draco Meteor immediately. That did a lot, even without the Hadron engine. Okay, well the good news is it was faster than my Koraidon, or I think I'm running max speed. Maybe I'm misremembering. I might be running Adamant. I don't remember, but it might be a speed tie is what I'm saying. But, can I not just do this? Oh, I guess they can do that. Nice crit on the Ursaluna, no confusion unfortunately. Let's go Dondozo. Protect, body press. Try to remove this Ursaluna as a threat if I can. They facade into Dondozo, but I'm running, like I said before, a ton of physical bulk. Unfortunately, that body press doesn't quite KO. Well. I think I just lose to Ursaluna now. They facade into Wheezing. They actually get knocked out by the Rocky Helmet. That's not the worst thing. Both my Pokemon survive this turn. I get Toxic Spikes. I don't think poison damage is really going to matter on the Miraidon the way this game's going, but maybe it is. Did I get past the Ice Rider first? Let's protect through this turn. They could do the double Trick Room play to get Trick Room back up with a full turn count. Yeah, I can never be mad at that play. It's a really cool one. Just get what damage I can on this Calyrex. Nope. Body press on the off chance that Dondozo makes it through this turn. So I'm not damaging myself with Wave Crash. Yeah, didn't make it through the turn. Wave Crash, I guess, was correct. Now I get Ting-Lu in against +1 Ice Rider Calyrex, and I cannot Terrastalize. I can't protect. And I probably just get KO'd next turn, but, you know, I'll play to my outs. Leech Seed Calyrex. You know, maybe I can't complain when I'm using a team like this, but the Leech Seed... These Leech Seed Ice Riders are honestly kind of frustrating me. They're I'm not big on complaining about completely valid, legitimate strategies, but I do find those kind of frustrating to play against. I guess the Leech Seed didn't really matter here though. But that'll be the Ting-Lu video. Ting-Lu itself was, like I said, a role player, and honestly not super valuable. Kind of seems hard to make it work in this format. I'm honestly... maybe I should take another look at those few teams that did well with it in Utrecht, but this was an interesting team for sure. Ting-Lu did show up and play a role sometimes, and otherwise I hope you enjoyed the VGC Legends Wheezing video. Let me know in the comments if Wheezing is your favorite legendary Pokemon.